Congratulations, you are indeed a giant killer, our new Jeopardy champion. 14.
What happened? Wow.
Naked grandma!
Naked, huh?
I've been thinking a lot about game shows as of recent. They are an absolute classic, as old as happiness itself, finding themselves in popular media time and time again. You want to know the simple answer as to why Squid Games is so popular? It was a fascinating take on a game show. You want to know why Mr. Beast is everywhere now? He made YouTube a game show. Our species just can't help themselves. When someone says an evil game show where people might die but also it's being televised, we want to be the first ones in line to see. But what is arguably more important than the game show, what distinguished it as an instant classic from just another cash grab, is its host.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next time with Whose Line Is It Anyway? Good night.
On behalf of all of us, welcome to America's favorite answering question game, Jeopardy!
Welcome to Family Feud.
These are just some of the greats, the cream of the crop who single-handedly changed a gimmick game show into one that you can't forget. It's a difficult but incredibly important job. And yet, the best game show host I have ever seen wasn't even really a game show host. He has the best smile in the game, a theme song that shoots daggers through your heart, and he transcended the silver screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your master of ceremonies, Caesar Flickerman!
Over the next several minutes, I am going to explain how Caesar Flickerman from the Hunger Games is not only the perfect game show host, but how he serves as a template for future hosts. And boy, does it get personal.
Everybody, time for a group howl.
Wow.
This is important.
But in order to understand this, it's important to address that Caesar isn't actually a game show host, at least on the surface. In the Hunger Games, Caesar has the privilege of interviewing who are called tributes, randomly selected citizens for a dystopian sacrificial ritual in which they must compete to the death to remember an uprising that occurred long before any of them were around. Oh, because they're children. Yeah. You know, the Hunger Games was really messed up. Anyway, and it's Caesar's job to cut away from this brutal subject matter and instead portray it as entertainment. Through this macabre task of interviewing children who will likely die the very next day, there's a part of Caesar that must be directly linked with this form of dystopian entertainment. And that part of Caesar is his key to success. His face. The movies actually did a really good job at bringing Caesar to life, with all of his features matching the book closely. In both the text and the movies, he is fairly kind to the tributes, trying to make them seem favorable to the nation of Panem as a brutal yet fair sacrifice. It's propaganda at its finest, and something we can see in real life. So, how do we see it in real life? I'll describe it in 2 words. Manufactured consent.
Let's hear it for Carol. Do I clap for my welcome?
Oh God, you are so beautiful.
My name is Ewan Morosity.
How old are you?
I'm 4 years old.
You are the youngest person ever.
This is how high-stakes game shows make their money. You aren't shown all the behind-the-scenes paperwork, you're only shown the face of the show with a bright, gleaming smile. If you look at pictures of game show hosts, they actually start to kind of look the same. They have a big, jarring smile, a charming persona brought out in their fancy attire, and they look into the camera in a way that feels genuine. It feels like they can be your friend. When we see the face of Caesar as the host of the Hunger Games, it helps create a facade for just how brutal the games themselves really are. And if you want proof, let it be known that when this movie came out and I was the same age as some of these children fighting for their lives, my favorite character wasn't Katniss or Peeta or Huey from The Boys. No, my favorite character was Mr. Flickerman. And damn it, I really kind of wanted to be like him.
What?
No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
This is going to sound off topic, but this is my friend, Chimpo. You may have seen him in some of my videos in the past, lurking in my comment sections, or have talked with him on my Discord server before. Link in the description, by the way. He seems to be everywhere these days, and he's my go-to guy when it comes to events. He's my right-hand man. And earlier this summer, we came up with an idea. But first, I need to tell you about a problem we were facing. And pay attention because I'm going to quiz you on it afterwards, so don't let me down. Something that I believe makes our Discord server unique is that it isn't just a YouTuber echo chamber. We actually do things together as a community, including monthly events that bring us closer together. In the past, we've watched movies, played Minecraft, and even just hung out in a voice call.
Can you pause real quick?
Yeah.
Why the fuck did you make a PowerPoint and then film the computer with your cell phone, you fucking lobotomite? Just submit the PowerPoint!
Oh, wow! It started off great, but as time went on, less and less people started showing up. It's part of the natural cycle of Discord servers, and I was about ready to let nature run its course until Chimpo and I got an idea. Here's a question I have for you. What do all of our previous events have in common? Is it A, they're all locked behind a paywall, FCP Battle Pass, B, they're passive, or C, they're all a form of mind control to get FCP's fans to actually like him? Chimpo and I realized that if we wanted people to show up to more of these events, they had to involve participation from the audience. People had to get committed to something. So we asked a question, what if we, as in the community oriented around this channel full of complete strangers on the World Wide Web, somehow got together and made a game show? All right, I'll make sure to speed this up. Everything would be made by the community, from the premise to the music to the challenges. It's full-blown participation, and it was not easy to scheme. We somehow had to find a way to make it so everyone didn't have to be in the same place at the same time when creating the show, while simultaneously making it approachable to the average person. After much thought and a voice call of over 2 hours, we finally got it. Over the span of a month, each week, we would provide a challenge to the Discord community. It would test a different skill each week, from art to music to general creativity, and then a panel of judges and the community would vote for their favorite submissions at the end of each week. The winners would then compete in the game show itself. And the grand prize, the motivating factor for all of it, was that the winner got to choose my next video topic and be included in said video. Dear viewer, this is where things got really interesting. Let us go back to why I wanted to be like Caesar. For Caesar to be successful, a pretty face isn't all he would need. It's context, the game show itself, that also carries half the burden. The Hunger Games are enticing with or without the host. It's children being sacrificed for the amusement of an entire nation. You know you got something right when Minecraft makes a parody of it almost immediately.
Okay,
But what I want to point out is just how juxtaposed the two appearances are between the games themselves and Caesar.
On the one hand, painful, agonizing failure. On the other hand, gold.
If I'm being completely honest, it wasn't the smile that made me love Caesar so much. It wasn't the suit or the hair or the personality so much as it was the presentation. The intro bass drop timed with the head snap as the camera pans around the stage gives this unspoken swagger to Caesar. And of course, you know I have to talk about the music for a second. Because what's going on here isn't just a gimmick theme song that's repetitive. It has weight. The song itself is titled War, released by the Hypnotic Brass Ensemble in 2009. For copyright purposes, this whole video has been using the cover version by the No Quarter Brass Band. Thanks guys, great performance. The best way I can describe this entire piece of music in one word is momentum. First, you have the sound of one trumpet for a measure. Then a second trumpet enters, making it a duet and compositionally adding tension. Then a trombone, then another, then a slightly out-of-tune trumpet serving as a counter melody over the initial chord progression. It pulls the momentum back, dividing the listener's ear. And if you listen closely, notice how said trumpet melody is actually dragging slightly behind the rest. It's as if the legs of the piece are actually moving normally, but the shoulders are lagging behind. It's literally auditory swagger. And then, the bass drops, and the whole piece throws the trumpet solo on a pedestal. It isn't fighting as a counter melody because it is the melody. And since you can't see this band performing live in the movie, who do you then associate with the trumpet? Caesar. Time it with the signature head snap, and there you go, a face and a persona even a 10-year-old can't forget. The first challenge to create the very first FCP game show occurred during the week of July 7th. It was simple. Create a title and a logo for the game show. Participants had a week to discuss, plan, and create their masterpieces. And boy, were Chimpo and I surprised with what we saw. They didn't just make a title and a logo, they created an identity. Each idea given was unique, and when everyone had to vote at the end of the week, it was intense. Literally all these ideas were great. but one really stood out amongst the rest. This is Aggression, and he's a mass debater. The submission of the mass debate was an absolute shock and grasp idea. Competitors would debate one another for several minutes on hilarious topics, ranging from classics such as Is Water Wet to Born Too Early or Too Late.
Let me think about this.
Oh man.
Oh
man, things are getting heated.
Cut it with a knife.
Yeah.
You can tell they're the real argumentative type.
Okay.
All right. And
I
so
would like to
be choosing for you.
Yeah. But a game show, as you now know, is much more than just a title and a logo. If Caesar has shown us anything, it absolutely needs a theme. Week 2 was just that, create a theme for the game show. This puts on display just how much music and identity are interwoven with one another. Cole's submission was a laid-back Sugar Ray approach. Alex's gave a classic funk theme to the mass debate, but our winner and most on-brand submission was from a fella named Fly. It has character, just the right amount of repetitiveness, and has a compressed 8-bit sound that's too nostalgic not to love. Which brings us to the final challenge, which was, well, to create challenges. You see, a flaw in the mass debate was that if you lost, you basically would just sit around until the end. Chimpo and I absolutely did not want that. It's the antithesis of participation. So we created a loser's bracket, where you could earn your place back into the tournament by not debating. You see, debating is entertaining, but when it's the only thing going on, it can get kinda stale. But when you have little challenges to change things up, well, you have a week 3 event for the Discord to participate in and something to keep things fresh. The winning challenge? Wikipedia races. Thanks, Cole. If you don't know what these are, basically your job is to get from one point to another entirely through wiki hyperlinks. It's insane, but also hilarious.
We are going from the article for the wren, which is a bird. You can find it in the chat, and you will be ending at the Chevrolet Suburban.
Dude, we're so good. This
is gonna be great.
Are you ready? Are we all ready?
Yes, we're both ready.
All right, begin.
Chevrolet. Okay, what am I looking for again? Chevrolet
Suburban.
No.
Camaro.
Striker, how we doing, buddy?
I'm in slang.
What do I look for? Holy frick.
Modern Greek.
Modern Greek?
So by this point in the video, you're likely wondering how this has anything to do with Caesar Flickerman. Well, first off, thank you for waiting. Second, you're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. You know that feeling when you're climbing up the first big drop on a roller coaster and you have time to question all of your life decisions before facing the literal gravity of your situation? When I first watched The Hunger Games, that's how I felt. I had read the book, but reading and seeing are two very different experiences. I was squeamish to say the least. The movie itself was dark, with a lot of scary anticipation for the games themselves. The roller coaster was getting ready to reach its peak. But what was peculiar is that, at its peak, there was no drop to look at. Instead, it was a person. Caesar. What was so bizarre, so memorable about Caesar's character beyond his intro was how he actually spoke with the tributes. He was...
It's about your sister.
Empathetic. He turned a terrifying reality into one that was personal and self-aware. All opposites of the actual creators of these games, the Capitol. When I watched this movie, I kind of felt like I was going to be competing. I mean, it's the magic of cinema. You feel like you're actually in the movie. And when you see a bunch of kids your age up on screen, it really just makes it that much more believable. I really saw this movie before I should have. But Caesar talked to Katniss and the other tributes like a friend, like a guiding light to not make tomorrow seem so scary. He was the pause before the drop on the roller coaster. Now, it's still important to remember that this is a facade, at least I think it is. We won't know for certain if Caesar actually cared about the tributes or not, but empathy, even if it's manufactured, is still empathy. To put a lot of words into little, if you want to be a great game show host, Caesar shows us that you not only need a great smile and a kick-ass theme song, but also a heart. And that is how he transcended the silver screen. I wanted to be like Caesar, at 10 years old and beyond. Maybe not from a literal standpoint, I didn't want to be the face of the Hunger Games, maybe not even a game show host, but I wanted to use entertainment for good. A little less manufactured, but still with all the presentation and flair. I wanted to be a part of something you would remember. So how did Caesar show up in real life? Well, I've been telling you the story the whole time.
Welcome, everybody. This is our most populated event in a while, so we are very, very excited.
Okay. Wait, Thank you for all coming to this debate today, everyone. I have to tell you, I was born too early.
Oh, your response.
Okay.
All right. So, in a 2-1 decision, a snap decision by the judges, we have determined that Cole will be moving on to round 2. Next up, we have Striker versus Alex. The topic for discussion: old Minecraft or new Minecraft.
Alright, so, post-combat update. The combat update is pretty controversial.
Striker, your opening argument.
I think that while there's a lot of new content,
The thing is, back then the game was also a lot more unstable.
how a lot of people learned about internet safety.
Your closing remarks, Striker. Don't have a lot of time.
I'm lame.
And that is the end of our time. Through unanimous decision, Mr. Striker is going to the loser bracket.
Would you rather rot away in your own room or rot away in the sun with the sounds of the ocean? Go on the boat.
That's true.
Go.
That is a very good fucking argument. I fucking hate sand. That is an incredible argument.
Laser blasters and bars full of people named Glup-Shitto.
Oh my god, you suck. Congratulations. You have moved on to the final.
My goodness. That was incredible.
Everybody, time for a group howl.
This is important.
As the summer comes to a close and school gets ready to start again, I've been feeling quite reminiscent. This game show, the people who have helped along the way, the ending that was as dramatic as its inception, it was absolute unforgettable cinema. I made friends, I saw Chimpo and I's blueprint come to life, and I saw creativity pouring out of random strangers from all over the world. It has truly made one of the best payoffs I can remember. To every single person featured in this video, participator in the game show, and supporter alike, thank you. I cannot wait to see what we do together in the future. And to Chimpo especially, thank you for being the best event coordinator I could have ever asked for. Now, with all that said, we have come full circle. When I sat down to write this essay, I struggled a lot trying to find a way to intertwine a Discord game show with an informative video essay. They seem to be on two opposite sides of the spectrum. So I look to a place I always look when I'm feeling creatively stuck: my childhood. Caesar Flickerman's a dramatic character who rides the line between swagger and empathy perfectly. He has flaws masked by charm and a moral compass that never points to true north. But I would be lying if I said I didn't still want to be like him. An entertainer. With a theme song and a show to host and bizarre challenges to witness, with a crew to help every step of the way and an audience to speak to. For the summer of 2025, I actually got to be like Caesar Flickerman. And it was one of the most memorable summers I've ever had. So, if I were happy every day of my life, I wouldn't be a human being. I'd be an entertainer. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure to join my Discord server if you want to be involved in my next silly event, and also, if you want to see other videos that are nostalgic, informative, and completely random and unrelated to one another, check them out here. Okay, that's it, bye.